Welcome to the Kingdom Hairstylist podcast. This is your host, Billie Jean. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kingdom Hairstylist. I am your host. My name is Billie Jean. I thank you all for tuning in and listening to this episode. I had a beautiful weekend. It was so wonderful. My firstborn graduated from high school on Friday, May 28th, and I'm just so excited about it. I cannot believe that this time has come. I look forward to this time for so long, and I just can't believe that he is here and that he is 18 and just growing up to be just a wonderful, handsome gentleman. And I'm excited for what God is doing in his life, and I'm excited about what's going to take place after high school. He has decided that he wants to be a barber, which makes me very excited because I'm a hairstylist. So he's following in my footsteps, and I'm just so grateful that I was able to rub off on him, and he was able to see my life and all the things that I've been through, and just to be encouraged by that. And so he is excited about barbering school. He wants to take a little break, of course, right after high school, just to give himself some time to work and enjoy not getting up, going to school every day. And so I'm okay with that. So yeah, it's just been beautiful. We gave him a really nice, supposed to be a cookout, but it rained so bad Saturday that we had to move it inside. But he was still grateful. He was still excited. Still had a very nice turnout. We had more than enough food, so there were so many leftovers, but we got through it, and it was exciting. And I'm just so grateful that God saw us through all of the hardships that we have been through. Getting him through school has been challenging. He definitely suffered from a couple of different things, ADHD and just trying to stay focused. Then he needed glasses at one point, couldn't see. Then the diagnosis with the type 1 and just struggling, trying to get out of high school. It was very hard, but he did it. And when I say he did it, I mean he really did it. He had to pull himself out of some situations where he was failing and falling behind and had to just do all his work to catch up. And by the grace of God, he made it through. So I'm very proud of him. Failing was not an option, and it's never an option. We're going to try and keep trying until we get it. So God has been so faithful to us, and we're just so grateful. So that was my weekend. I hope that you all had a wonderful weekend as well. I pray that you just did some fun things and that you just were excited about whatever you did. Let's just say that I hope that it was great. So today I really want to talk about something that has been on my mind. I shared a little bit about this probably my first episode or maybe my second episode, and I remember it being titled The Move. But today is going to be like a part 2 to that, because I see that a lot of people struggle in this area, and I know that I struggled in this area a lot, and it was surrendering my hair business. So today's episode is entitled How I Surrender My Hair Business. I did one Clubhouse room about this a long time ago, maybe not a long time ago, but whenever Clubhouse first started, I did a Clubhouse, and I didn't really get that many participants, but the people that were there were very excited and encouraged by what I shared. And so today I just want to talk about how I surrendered that business, because it was definitely hard to surrender to God, especially when we are in the mind space of that we have to hustle and grind, and that we're the ones that make things happen for us, and that we have to just get the money, or we gotta go out here and get the clients. And sometimes it puts us in a bad place, because it makes us think that we are God, and we're not. We're never God. So I had to learn how to surrender, my hair business by allowing God to be God in my life, and like telling myself that you are not God, you are Billy, and you cannot do everything. You can do your part, but you can't do everything. And whenever we get in those spaces where we feel stuck like that, where we don't know which direction to go, or if we don't realize how we even got there, that's when we have to visit our Father in the secret place. And the secret place is just simply a place and a time that you meet God every day. So for me, it's in the mornings. For you, it might be in the midday. For you, it might be in the evenings, right before you go to bed. There's really no set time. It just depends on whenever you know that you're going to be consistent with spending that time with God. And so you may not always get an answer right away, or you may not feel like He's answering you, but He will. Trust and believe. The answer is going to come, and it's going to be right on time. But you got to be vigilant. You have to pay attention, and you have to be looking for the answer. God is just so good, though, because He just always speaking to us in all these different ways. Reading the Bible is the best way to hear from Him, but you can also hear from Him through nature, or He may send somebody to you, a stranger, a family member, something. But anyway, that's pretty much what I had to do. So what brought me to that point? There was a lot of different things that brought me to the point of realizing that I have to surrender this hair business to God. So I was basically tired of just doing everything in my own strength. Like, I felt like I was chasing money. I was like passing out cards. I was at one point I was doing we had those value packs. I got in that years ago. Then there was Groupon, and it just felt like the clients were not coming back. It just felt like they wanted to come for a discount, and then once they got that discount, they were on to the next person that could give them a discount. So I really didn't have a steady clientele. I didn't have clients coming back every week or clients coming back every 2 weeks. And then I just realized, like, am I even in this market for the right reasons? Am I in this market for the money, or am I in this market for the people? And then I realized that I'm in it for both. So I have to surrender to God for Him to help me navigate through these different challenges that I'm facing, because when you're chasing money, it's like you're not really doing what the will of God is, if that makes sense. Because when you chase your passion, then the money will come. So as long as it's something that you love doing, the money is going to come because you're going to be great at it. But if you're just doing it just for the money, it's going to show, because you're not going to put the passion into your work. It's not going to look as good. It's going to just look rushed. It's going to just be like, I just needed this money really quick. So that's not always good. But yeah, I was chasing the money, trying to build a clientele. The clientele wasn't enough for me. It wasn't enough clients to even be really making income. And I felt like I had more month than money. So that means that I had more bills than money. I always had a bill due, and I really never had enough money. I had obsessive spending habits. So whenever I did get money, I would just blow it. And it's funny because I was just talking to a coworker about this last week. We was talking about how when we first started out, how we had bad money management. Like, you would just get all this money, and I would never go deposit it into a bank account. So I would have all this cash on me. And then you know how when you break a $100 bill, it's gone. Or if you break a $20 bill, it's gone. So I had to learn how to put the money in the bank and not to walk around with so much money. And then I just felt like this God just chasing after me a few years ago. There was just like this tug, this pull. And I really can't explain it, but it was just like I knew that it was God, because I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that I needed to make a shift. There was something going on in the inside of me that was just like, it was just God like, listen, I'm trying to get you to see that I want to be a part of your life. I want to be a part of everything that you do. Even the things you don't think I want to be a part of, like your business. Like, I really do want to help you with this stuff. Like, don't you see that you keep running into these brick walls because you won't let me in? And it was just crazy to me, because I kept saying, God, why do you care? Like, why do you even care about what's going on with me? I'm not even good to you. I'm not spending time with you. I'm not paying my tithes. I'm not seeking you. And you just really care that much that you just won't let me sleep. You won't let me rest. And it was amazing. Now that I look back on it, it's amazing. But when it was happening, I was just so confused. And I was just like, I don't really know what you want from me, God. I'm trying my best here, but I have no idea what it is that you want. And so one day, that was the day that I talked about earlier on the podcast. For those that haven't heard this story before, go back to, I think, episode 2. It's called The Move. But I spoke about how God, just woke me up out of my sleep and just spoke to me audibly. A lot of times, God speaks to me when I'm asleep. I'll wake up with like a word, and I'll remember that word, and it'll just be like a word that was repeated to me over and over and over again. And so around that time, he woke me up and asked me, was I ready for where he was going to take me? Then a couple of years later, he woke me up with the word submission. So I kept like saying submission. And then I was like, God, what does that mean? What am I supposed to be submitting to? Is it to my marriage? Or is it to you? And I just kept praying about that over and over and over again. And eventually God revealed to me that he wanted me to submit to him, submit everything to him, because he knew that I was trying to play God, that I was doing everything in my own strength. I was just, another thing that I was doing, not to get off topic, it's still on the same topic, but not to get off of what I was saying about God, was that like I found myself trying to work 7 days a week, like just to get enough money. I was working 7 days a week, opening up my books every single day, taking any and everything, every service that I didn't even really want to do, but just doing it so that I could chase the money. So all of that was around the same time when, God was telling me to submit to him. So when he asked me the question about was I ready for where he was about to take me, I never really answered right away. I don't remember answering right away. I remember answering later as I went through more trials and different tribulations and hard things. And then that's when I started to study the word more, because I just felt like I needed more. I needed to know God for myself. I needed to know that if I did submit to him, what would my life look like after that? When you're so used to doing everything on your own and having pride issues where you don't ask for help and you just feel like you can do everything on your own, that's when you basically hit rock bottom, where God is the only thing that you have left. And it's sad that we use him that way, that we just say, well, all I can do is pray. I mean, of course we're supposed to be praying. That shouldn't even come out of our mouths to say, well, all I can do is pray about it. Like, we should be praying constantly every day about our lives, about our businesses, about what God wants us to do. And God will reveal himself to us when we seek him, because the Bible always talks about seeking God first. And then as long as we live righteous, everything else will be added unto us. So another thing that I had struggled with in the beginning, I would say maybe like, not in the beginning, because I've been doing hair almost 15 years now, but let's say like the last maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I used to smoke weed. And I smoked weed heavily. I had started smoking weed when I was 16 years old. And I was smoking a lot. Like, I was smoking every day. I thought I needed it for, like, to be clear, to have my mind clear, to be focused. I thought I needed it because it relaxed me whenever I was going through anxiety, or like whenever I just felt like things wasn't going right in my life. I would just smoke. And smoking really, really, really wasn't good for me. But I just told myself that it was good for me because it was what I knew. I did it since I was 16. My dad smoked weed. My mom smoked weed. I actually smoked weed with my dad a couple of times, which was very, very, very uncomfortable. Not for me, not for him, but for me. And it was just weird. Like, I never thought that day would come. Like, I'm never smoking with my kids. I hope and pray they never smoke weed. But yeah, that was the mindset that I had 4 to 5 years ago. And